Good day, YouTubers. I am Ragamuffin. Today we're looking at an El Toro LX460. This was an El Cheapo to me. Got from somebody with all flat tires, not running, dead battery, that sort of thing. Today we're doing a deck belt change video, and we'll get started. Something to note here, the service manual will probably tell you to remove the deck in order to change the deck belt. I find that unnecessary simply due to the fact that I've tried to remove this deck before and it was a pain, and I'm not going to do that. So I may have a little bit more trouble changing the belt, but it should be faster because you don't have to do the extra steps of removing the deck. So here's how you do it without removing the deck. This is after it's already done. It works. Down here we have the belt diagram. The dark one there being the upper belt, the hollow one being the lower belt for reference. And you can see the upper belt is missing. It's supposed to go around that pulley there and over to where my hand is here. You can see there the lower belt. I'm not going to be messing with the lower belt today, but we're going to talk about some things about this mower. The research I did suggested that a 1/2 inch by 90 inch belt was the correct size. I could be wrong, we'll see. This is a Husky, and it has Kevlar, so that means it does much better things at whatever. I read online that the off-brands tend to break in these mowers, so I don't know. This is the one they had, so I bought it. Kevlar, whatever, make me feel better. Looking from the passenger sides, starboard side there, you can see right by the Caterpillar there on the left is a guide, and also directly in the middle of the pulley there is another guide. Interestingly enough, annoyingly enough, those are so tight, and if I can move here, sorry about the shaking, that is as much clearance as you have to get that belt in there. It's like, quarter of an inch or something like that, maybe a little bit bigger than that. Can't fit the belt in. So, underneath, if you can see, there we go. Oh. Well, there's a bolt under there anyway. There it is. There's a bolt under there and one on top. I believe that's a 7/16. And you have to loosen that to get that pulley loose so it can move around. It's too tight here now. We'll loosen that up and come right back. So I misspoke. This is a 9/16, and we're going to loosen that up. Back over here on the driver's side, we see another pulley. I need to zip tie this. See another pulley. Same situation. Real tight holder thing there, and also in the back. We'll loosen these two bolts, one on top, one on bottom, and come back. So as I said, we loosen this, and it gives us just enough wiggle room. So we've got the wrench on the bottom there. Gives us just enough wiggle room to squeeze that belt in there. We'll do that on both sides. You can see here from the front, loosen that one and this one, and we'll see if we can squeeze that belt on here. Interesting, another thing that I noticed about this mower is, oops, here we go, can't really see it. So we now have this pulley and this pulley loosened, and we can match it up with the guide here. Something I find strange about this mower is it has the V-belt guide there bent down quite drastically on one side. I don't know if this is intentional or accidental. It may be to help you put the belt on because it's pretty tight, but just a side note. Similar situation on this side. This belt cover here has to be removed. It's got 1, 2, 3 bolts on it. This is a 3/8, and we're going to remove that so we can get to the pulley underneath, because it's got these guides in the way here. It's easier to take it off. So here we see our pulleys, lower and upper. Of course, the upper not having a belt, and remnants of said belt all around the mower, and also in here it wound itself up inside this little box, which was quite a pain to get out. We're gonna put that on there, and if you're into cleaning, now would be a good time to do it. Making assumptions here. You know, I don't claim to be a mechanic or a repairman or anything, and if you have questions, I probably can't answer them because I don't have a freaking clue, but I'm going to try to employ this little notch here as a helper to get this belt on. Try to rotate it here. Come on. Yeah. Something like that. So this is what we're left with here. Looking at this caterpillar. Will he get off in time? We will see. You can tell these pulleys are still loose. So they're taking up some of the tension here. I'm going to tighten those back down and cross our fingers. Just want to make a note here that the belt is inside the guides, both side and the rear on both pulleys. Employing the phone in the mouth trick here. I've got my wrench down here on the left side and socket on top, and this needs to be these need to be pretty tight, but they do have lock washers on them, so they should hold relatively well. They should be able to still move pretty freely whenever you have them tightened down. Okay, here's what we're left with. You can tell our belt is still loose. The caterpillar's still on there, and it's going around to the front where it's hanging on. Still need to get a zip tie, and we'll see if it works. True hacks such as myself leave the zip tie ends on for style points. Adds 5 horsepower. So the superstitious people will say, of course, if you close it all up before you test it, it will not work and you'll have to take it all apart. And they will test things without closing them up all the way. I'll leave that up to you. I'm going to test it like this, so I don't have to take it apart in case it does mess up. I couldn't do it. He made it out alive. Something to note about this mower, for whatever reason, these are kind of my gripes. For whatever reason, this valve cover up here, you can tell how oily it is, leaks. And I changed the gasket, which was cork, and whenever I did, they said, oh yeah, those things always leak. And I was like, well great, that's fantastic. So it leaks oil, it drips right there. And what's right next to it? None other than the exhaust. You'll notice that was really loud, volume warning. And this oil leaked on top of the muffler and just smoked like crazy all the time, never stopped. So, take off the muffler. So because this wasn't my first mower to be working on like this, or make a video on, for that matter, it's not my favorite. I do have gripes about it, but hey, it was cheap, gets the job done, works for me. I'm gonna go ahead and mow the grass now. So thanks for watching, and good luck.